Hello butterflies, caterpillars and parents. I hope you're all keeping safe and well. Thank you for all the hard work you've been doing and sharing to Tapestry. We really appreciate it. We're going to go through some of the home learning that we've set for this week. We're going to start with reading. So reading, don't forget you can share ebooks on Bug Club. If you log into Tapestry, you should be able to find your login if you search for the Bug Club observation. There's also Oxford Owl that has a lot of free ebooks that you can look at. The story for this week is going to be Rumble in the Jungle, and there's a link to YouTube here. You could listen to the story or you could mute it. The pictures of the book on the video are actually nice and clear, so you can actually read the story yourself if you wanted to. In phonics, we're going to learn the letter sounds for G and O. So the letter G in phase 2 makes a G sound, and the letter O makes an O sound. You can find the phonics sound book in the week 1 folder, so you can carry on filling that out, or you could make your own book. I know some of you are actually doing that already. In communication and PSHE, we want the children to think about their feelings a little bit. So we've got an activity to talk about how we feel. So we're going to use music in the physical activity, which we'll go through a bit more in a minute, to talk about how music makes them feel. So it could be something like they listen to their favourite nursery rhyme and it makes them feel happy, but then they might listen to something like a classical piece of music which might make them feel sad or worried or something like that. So we're going to get them to start talking about their feelings, and we also want them to start thinking about what to do when they're hurt and upset. So knowing that if someone took their toy, maybe they, instead of snatching it back, they could ask for it back, and if that didn't work, then ask a grown-up for help. So it's kind of like conflict resolution, how to react appropriately to that sort of situation. In expressive arts and design, we'd like you to create some flags of some countries that you're going to visit. So if you go to the Go Jetters site on the CBeebies, you can watch some Go Jetters. They're nice fun little cartoons, they're not very long, but you can learn about some countries and then create the flags. I have put some flag templates up on the website. You can paint them, draw them, collage them, it's entirely up to you. And then you can also draw pictures of things that begin with G and O, and you can put those in your phonics soundbook. In maths, you can play a dice game. So have some objects like pennies or buttons or Lego bricks or something like that. It's quite small, and you need a dice. You can download dice apps on phones, and I've also put a template that you can print off to make your own dice. So you roll the dice. You could use 2 if your child is really confident with counting, and you've got to collect that many pennies each roll. So if you have a number 5 on your dice, you collect 5 pennies, and then after 5 rolls you've got to say who has more objects. So it's kind of using that language of more and less, and obviously accurate counting. So getting the children to line their coins up, moving them as they're counting them, but making sure they say 1 number for each object. And we're also going to start learning days of the week. So there's a really nice song, there's lots of songs on YouTube, but this one is one we use in school quite often. It allows the children to copy after the main singer, so it's quite nice and it's not too fast. So that's maths. If we go over to writing, so writing, it's so writing a story together. What you could do is get your child to draw a picture and get them to tell you what's happening in the picture. That's their story. Or you could even write down a story when you're playing together. So it might be you're playing with dolls or cars and you'll make up a story together, and you can write it down and then get your child to draw some pictures to go with the writing afterwards. We're going to practice the phase 2 sounds we've been learning. So if you go to this website, it has letter formation, so you can follow. So on this follow if you go forward, you choose your letters. I've already chosen this week's sounds. You can press the balloon and it will show you exactly how to form the letter. And then once they've watched that, they can go back again, and there's press and follow, so they can follow with their finger, or this one which works really nicely on a tablet. They can actually do it themselves, so they click on and they move their finger on the screen. I'm using a laptop mouse, which is not ideal, but you see what we can do with that, so that's quite good. So that's really nice, and you can also use this for writing their names, which is really nice. And they've also got numbers, which is fun as well. So there's lots of different things you can use there. And if you just want to get rid of letters, you can clear all of them, or if you just want to clear one letter, you press those little red crosses down the bottom, which is a really nice website. So yeah, so you can practice writing the sounds, you can keep practice writing their names, you can write sounds we've already learnt. You can try and write words. It's up to you. So understanding the world. So I've already said about the Go-Getters. So if you go on the CBeebies website, so I'm on the CBeebies Go-Getters page, you can click here and it will take you to the iPlayer, and it's got all the episodes. So you can go to Italy, India, more Italy, that's Mount Etna. You can go to all different places, and it's a little bit of a fun cartoon, but there are some little facts and stuff put in about the country or the place they're visiting, which is really, really nice. So yeah, you can watch Go-Getters, learn about a little bit about country, and then make your flags and stuff like that. And then we're going to put a map on the website to go with this week's learning, and you can choose a country. So you might choose a country, look at the Go-Getters, see if there's a country there, and you can just find out a little bit about it. So it'd be nice and interesting. So we're kind of exploring the world a little bit this week. And then physical, we're going to look at different ways of moving, and this links to the story quite nicely. So you could read One Born in the Jungle and get them moving like the elephants in the story, or the tiger, or the lion, or the monkeys. You could find out what animals they're interested and look for videos on YouTube of how those animals move. So it's just a bit of fun movement activity, get into big movements. And then we're going to play some music and get the children to think about how it makes them feel, if they like it. So you can play the music that you might have listened to when you were younger, or you could ask grandparents about music they listened to when they were younger. So just introduce them to different kinds of music. And then finally, fine motor. We're going to take our pen or pencil for a walk around the paper and then colour in the spaces we've made. So this can be quite a nice calming activity. And what we can do, I'm going to just move my camera so you can see. So you have your paper, and what you can do this with music actually, it's quite good fun. So you hold your pencil properly, so with 2 fingers and your thumb if they're up to that point. Some children might want to use all their fingers at the moment, which is perfectly fine for their age. You can trace shapes, so they can do circles, but basically you fill up your page making lots of shapes and spaces, so they can go for as long as possible. You can do this with them, it's quite nice and fun. So once they're done and filled up their space, you can get some colouring pencils or felt tips, and you can colour in the spaces they've made. So it's about control, so they're controlling how the pencil moves and makes these shapes, but then also control for colouring in, so they've got to make sure they don't go over their lines. So then you might get a lovely interesting piece of artwork from this as well, which is also very nice. And it's very calming, especially if you do it to music. And then the other thing you can do, which is kind of an extension to that activity, is set up obstacles on the paper. So you can put things like pennies, to spread the pennies out, and they've got to guide their pencil around the pennies without touching them, which is quite nice. So that's kind of an extension of that, makes it a little bit more tricky if they're really confident with their pencil control. So that's all the learning we're going to be doing over this next week. You can do as much as you like, but yeah, please try some of the activities, and don't forget to post what you do on Tapestry, because we really want to see what you're doing. Yeah, so have fun and keep safe, and we'll see you soon, hopefully.